Okay, let me welcome you officially to our module today. We are going to look at assignment 2 because I've changed the assignment to be that of lesson planning. And before I can start that, let me look at how to create a table of content, how to create list of figures, list of tables, and some referencing. It is important, even for those who are able to do it, reminding yourself of how to do these things is crucial. So let me start. I want to prepare a table of content. To be able to prepare the list of content, you must start by putting headings. That is the most important. It is not difficult. So what you do, let me use another assignment because already this assignment has the table of headings. Let me use this one, the one that we were supposed to do today. So I'm going to imagine that this is how my work is going to look like. Okay, so let me imagine this is my work. So the first thing I'm going to do, I come to the introduction, I make introduction heading 1 or 2. Most of the times I use heading 2 because the title page, I will have prepared a cover page. I'm the one who is preparing cover pages for students' assignments. Imagine that. Students, they submit for me assignment, I do the cover page because they are not doing even the cover page. So there, then I come to the board here. Then I select heading 2. Something to do with cognitive. Then I select there, I make it heading 2. Conclusion, heading 2. And applications, because I also want to see applications having a heading. I'm going to select them heading 2. If I wanted to select this one, I can make it heading 3. So you can see already I have my headings, very easy. Then the next thing, I just come here and create a blank page. Insert, blank page, there it is. 1 minute. It is taking so long to create. Traditionally, when you can just come here and now here referencing table of content, you use this video to see how I've done it. There it is, 1 minute, 1 minute. I have already finished my table of content and I can put section 1. If I go here on the table, on the body, I can always make changes. I write here section 1. I can put it in capital letters. Then I can make it heading 1. Then I can select another one. Section 2, multiple intelligence and the others. And then I can save. And all I have to do is to go back to the table of content here and update the entire table of content. Now see section 1 and 2 is there. As easy as it is. Then when I come to figures, I want you to come here and write a figure and give the figure. I was asking students, what is this? Give the figure a meaningful. You go again to referencing, insert caption, figure 1. I normally do like that. I say, okay. And then I put something meaningful. Framework for learning in a constructivist environment. I don't want, students are telling me something which doesn't tell me anything. Framework for what? And then I saw at least students are putting source. Where did you get this information from? You can say Vygotsky or something like that. But this one I created myself. If it is, you can say 1978. But this one I created myself. And I normally make this so smaller so it doesn't look like that. I prefer like that. So this source, I'm using an ordinary font. I'm not going to put it part of figure 1 so that when I create figure 1, it is not going to show up there. I'll show you. Then I come back here to the table of content. I write list of figures. There I go, referencing, insert, list of figures. Yes, there it is. So I already have figure 2. The computer is it will update itself. Figure 2, learning for superior knowledge or for a specific outcome. You come up with something that makes sense and then you tell me the source.
So, we should always include the source under the figure.
Yes, you should always include the source. Let me show you, for example, when I'm writing my own journal articles, they will not accept the journal article if at all it does not have. Recently, I published just a journal article here. I published a journal article just the other day. Yeah, let me show you what I did, 4th of May. Here's my you see, I always create, when they give me back, they give us back to do corrections, those journal articles. I create another table, another place where I just put my referencing. Me, I'm doing my referencing as it is required. It's not like I'm asking you to do something that I'm not doing. You can see I create my referencing exactly as it is required. Then here is a journal article itself that it was published just this year, which I wrote. Sustainability, I wrote a journal article on sustainability accounting. So if you look at this journal article, it has the headings: literature review, research methodology, discussion, conclusion, recommendation, and references. If I come here, I say figure 1. There are the list of figures. There is figure 1. You see, I adopted this figure. They told me to put the figures in a separate document. That figure, I adopted it from Carol 2004. Then there is figure 2. Figure 2, I adapted it. To adopt is to take from somebody. To adapt is you take and then you make changes. Then there is figure 3. And you see, whenever I have the figure, I'm not putting a figure into the air. The figures, I put them in a separate document because that's what they wanted me to do for this particular one. Let me see if I have it here. There's the figures. You see, whenever I use a figure, I say economic, whatever. Let me see that. I'm discussing the figure, economic pillar. This economic pillar is a child of social pillar and is also a child of ecological pillar, as is shown here, adapted from this person. I'm showing you how to become a writer because this is the essence of writing. And then again, after I've discussed figure 1 here, that is not the end of the story. I come back again here and I say, as demonstrated in figure 1, that's what the writers are supposed to do. Writers are supposed to discuss the figure before and after, table before and after. You can see now I'm discussing again the relevance of that figure. And then I've referenced myself there because I have written another journal article previously on that figure, and then I've referenced another author. You see, I have not copied and pasted these things, only that I've made them static. But if I come here, you can see. If I come to referencing, citation, they are all there. I didn't copy and paste. People are copying and pasting and giving me references that they have copied and pasting. They don't even look to see what the reference is about. They don't even check whether the reference has nothing. They copy and give to me. Some of the references are coming like this with one. You know why it's coming with one? One like that, but one as a like this. I see. I ask students, it's coming like this. I don't know if it's superscript or subscript. They are giving me like this, which is already telling me you copied and pasted and you did not even think what you are doing. Because for you to have this, it means that it must have a footnote. So you copied the whole work of that person without even engaging your mind to see, what am I doing? So here are all my references. They are here. I didn't copy and paste. I'm not asking you to do something that I don't do. I'm asking you to do something which will help you. I do them so that when I need them, I can put them there. And then I convert to static text. That's what I have been doing. I convert them to static text so that I can be able to say so and so. So this is figure 2. This is Carol offers as a framework for enterprise accountability accounting on these areas as shown in figure 2. Students, they just tell me, see figure 2. And they don't tell me what I'm seeing. They just go to the work and just say, see figure 2, see figure 1. I say, what am I seeing? Then again, I come here. This CRM framework calls for the companies to generate income while participating in good corporate citizenship. You see, I'm discussing figure 2 before and figure 2 after. Then if I go to figure 3, the same thing. I will discuss this figure 3, which I've created for myself. I don't copy and paste things from the internet. Can you see? This figure I've created myself with my own hands. Look, I don't copy and paste. I don't tell students to do things which I don't do. Me, I'm not a copy and pasting person from the internet. It's not integrity. I've created this thing by my own hands. Look, if I delete it, it goes. And students, they are copying and pasting things from the internet. And we are computer students. You can see this figure are prepared by the researcher, myself, based on the literature review matrix that I have sat down and read. I sat down and read this work, then I prepared my own matrices from the literature review. I saw these are the important matrices for understanding these 4 elements of a company. And then I talked about the figure here, and then I talked about the figure later. You see? And even I'm talking about another figure, which will be later. But I'm discussing the figure later because I'm saying all those figures are important. You see? This is figure 6. You see, there is figure 6. I did not copy and paste. This figure, you can see if I do like this. I did not copy and paste from the internet. I created this figure myself. But students are copying and pasting things from the internet. That's why I've removed assignment 2. Because I'm saying to myself, what are students really up to? What do you want to gain from this module? What are you doing? Because you have to ask yourself these questions in your own mind. Why am I here? What do I want to achieve in this module? What do I want out of life? You know? Because what you are, when you give yourself garbage in, you are giving yourself garbage out of life. I'm telling you, this is not, it's not about me. It's about you. Your mind does not know whether you're doing it for me or you're doing it for yourself. Your mind is replicating your behavior. And my friend, let me tell you, the behavior you are showing me now, it's going to be your lifetime behavior because your mind will never change. That's what Vygotsky was telling us. Your mind it will never change and tell you, oh, yes, this time you did badly because you are doing it for Dr. Gachie. Now let's start doing life properly. No, your mind will behave exactly the way you are behaving here. You know, your child will behave exactly the way you are behaving here because you'll be asking yourself, how comes my daughter is such somebody who is out of her mind? Your daughter is not out of her mind. Your daughter is replicating you because she's coming from your eggs, and your eggs have already been impregnated with the failure, with not doing things, with copying and pasting. You understand? That's why we're having students even here in UK. So then PhD students, they are copying and pasting. Why? Because that's what they are used to doing. So when you ask them, what are you doing? They say, but that's what we have done since at a graduate, and no lecturer asked me no question. I'm used to copying and pasting. That's who I am. But you can see here I'm saying, develop for this research using a variety of methods by the researcher. I'm not copying. Look at my references. I'm putting my reference like this. They are static here, but you can see I created them. I made them static because they wanted the references to be a small font and to look a certain way. But you can see all my references, I have them. If I open this, it will show you exactly where I got this. I don't copy and paste. If I show you, I open this, it is where I got this document. This journal article, if I open it, it will show you where I got this. Can you see? I'm not copying and pasting, but I'm asking students to do such a simple thing, and then they are there. And you know, the thing is, when you're copying and pasting, you are actually telling me you don't even respect me, because that's how I'm concluding. Because if you don't respect yourself, you don't respect me, we don't respect each other. That's how I'm seeing it. Because there's no way, if you respected me, you can give me work that is substandard. No way. But if you are saying, Dr. Gachie, she's just, I'll just give her whatever I feel like giving her. It doesn't matter. And the thing is, it is those small things that you're saying don't matter, they matter. The small things. Failure is the result of ignoring small things on a daily basis. That's what is the definition of failure. If I told you to eat an apple a day as a doctor, Lungile, because here I'm talking, because if I don't give you the foundation, we are going to build our house and our house is going to fall. Lungile.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you seen how to do the table of content?
Yes, I saw that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that we have to create our own figures from scratch.
I don't want you to create figures from the scratch. I don't want you to do that. Please don't do that. I'm just showing you what I have gone at least further to doing. Don't do that. Okay, don't do your figures from the scratch, but acknowledge the figure, reference the figure. And even if, and what would be so difficult for you, at least to show me that you know how to create a table. Students, they are copying tables from the internet. Why don't you just copy? Why don't you just create a table and say, okay, how do I create a table? This table, I want to copy, use it on my document. You come here, you say insert, table. How many figures? 4. Then copy that information from that table and put it here. And then say, adopted from. But now you are taking a table as it is, print screen, give to me. What is difficult about creating a table? What is difficult about showing me that you can go further from what you have been given? I'm not saying you create the tables, or I'm saying what is wrong with you showing me that you are, because that's what students ask me, why are you not giving me 80%? I can't give you 80% because you've given me 50%. 50% means you have given me 50%. But if you give me more, I will give you more. How can I call you cum laude when you don't know how to create a table? How can you call you a cum laude when you don't even know how to create even one image by using UMS Word? And you are going to a classroom to teach. And you're going to the classroom to teach, telling people, I am a cum laude who can never touch a computer. Is that what we call cum laude? Makosa sana. Philippa?
Yes, ma'am.
You want me to call you cum laude when you don't know how to touch a computer, really? A simple thing as a table. A simple thing as creating references. Students, they are going and copying references and giving me. They don't even give me the reference. They went to the internet and copied the Wikipedia. They did like this, www.wikipedia.com. They gave me that. Those were the references they were giving me. Now me, Dr. Gachie, to guess where on hell could this work have come from in Wikipedia. They gave me like this, www.google.com. Now me, I'm a god to go and know where in google.com even that work was gotten. It's not even hard because all I need to do is to go to turn it in. Turn it in will give me. But is that what I'm supposed to be doing? I'm asking students to use their mind and become that cum laude you want to become. Become that student you want to become by showing me you can go further. That's why we have 50%. 50% means that you barely made it. 60% means you have given me a little bit. 80% and 90% means you have actually sat down and gone further. That's what a rubric is about. Rubric is about marking students' work based on their performance. So when I'm using a rubric, I'm saying, you have given me 10%, I'll give you 10%. That's why the rubric says, the students have gone further and applied their knowledge. Then I give them more. That's what a rubric is about. So that's why you see, one student will get 50, barely. Another student will get 70 on the same assignment. Why? Because the student has gone further according to the rubric and given me more than I have even asked. The Bible is saying, give and it shall be given to you. If you give me nothing, I'll give you nothing. If you give me garbage, I'll give you garbage. You know, if you give me 10%, I'll give you 10%. Remember those people who are given 1 talent. That person was given 1 talent because the master had looked at that person for many years, and he has discovered this person cannot be able to be given two talents. He's not capable. So he gave me 1 talent. The master had seen the other person was capable of 5, and the other one was capable of 4. And then he went to a far land. When he came back, the one who was be given 4 gave him 8. The one who had been given 5 gave him 10. The one who had been given 1, he said, I didn't even do anything. I put it on the ground. I didn't do anything because you always want what you did not give. You see, because the master had already known he was not a good servant. That's why he had given him 1, hoping at least he can get 1.5. He never even gave the master 1.5. He gave the master nothing. Imagine. That's what the students are doing. I've given them a whole month since the beginning of the semester. They are giving me trash and telling me, Dr. Gachie, this is what you are valued. That's what they are doing with me. I've given them the talents. They are telling me, Dr. Gachie, you are only worth nothing. That's why I've gone to the internet and copied and pasted and given to you. Because that's what you are reflecting to me. You see, that's what I'm talking about. How can you become an author or a writer or an educator if you are not going to be able to at least use the information, reproduce the information fresh? I tell the students, okay, they want a PhD, that's what they want. They go to the internet and copy and paste. I tell them, it would have been much easier for you to sleep. I just go to the University of KwaZulu-Natal and then I say, I want so-and-so a PhD. Rather than a student going and taking another person's work and giving to me. And then they say that's a PhD. That's what they do. Instead of doing that, why don't you just sleep and I give you the work and I give you the marks? That's what we can do in this module. In fact, so many, let me tell you, some students, they never attended the lectures last semester and they are 4th-year students. Now they are crying, telling me, Dr. Gachie, give me marks. I told them, I don't have any marks to give you. You know, I told them what you can do. Go to the administrator in the university. Tell him what marks you want. They give you and you graduate. That's what I am saying. Students, they are coming to me. I'm a 4th-year student. I only missing 1 module, but I didn't attend, but I want marks. I tell them, go to the admin, tell them to give you 50%, you pass. Oh, I'll get an exemption. Because why should I give you 50%, something you never did, and you're going to go out and teach? I'm defrauding you. I'm stealing from you. Me, I'm not going to defraud any student. They are going to come back next semester. Next semester, they will come back. They are 4th-year students. They are crying tears, sending me emails 24/7. And you know me, I don't check emails. Me, I don't check emails. I don't have emails on my phone. So whenever you're sending me emails late at night, I don't check. I don't have emails on my phone. It's not possible to have emails on my phone. So I'm just trying to explain to you the importance of taking your work seriously. So let us agree that we are going to do assignment 1 and 2 properly because I have done the best I can do. So which date do you want to submit this assignment 1? Those ones who have not even given me the first draft, they must give me the first draft by tomorrow latest. So the ones who have given me the other assignment, which is the best time to submit? Is it Friday okay? Sipokazi? Sipokazi?
Yes, ma'am.
Do I have your work?
Yes.
When do you want to submit the final work? Did I give you some feedback as it is helping you?
Yeah, it did help.
Please, please. Which is the best time that I can see students' work? Do you want to email me on, let's say next week on Monday, I have a look at what you have done so far? But the ones who have not submitted, they must submit. Is that okay? Any question as far as that is concerned? So let me just show you how to do one reference. Those who are copying and pasting, all you do, you copy this work. If you copy on a PDF, you can copy on a PDF and put it here. That's what I normally do when I want to reference. But I don't do that. I come to the document itself. I have so many documents here. Here is a reference. So I have this document and I want to reference this document. You see, look at the way they tell us how to structure the paper before submitting. They tell us that if you do not read, this is what they are telling us. If you do not do like they are telling us to do here, they will not accept our work. Look, the abstract. These are things which when I ask you to do, you will start crying. Keywords. They tell us to do an introduction. You know, you tell us what is the basic issues. What is the relevance of your article? Can you explain? Then literature review. What have you been reading? What have you come up with? What are the results? What is your conclusion? Let me see if I can find a journal article here. This is a journal article. So what I'm going to do, I want to reference this journal article. I'll copy like this. I go to my MS Word and say references, insert citation, new journal article. This is the title. Is the title. It's by these two people. Stanford is this company that went under the other day. They were pretending that they were doing shares and they were just lying to people. Now the company has gone underground and shareholders have lost money. So I was referencing it in my work. Then I put J. I don't put add again because I've already done it once. Then I say, which year is this journal article? This journal article was written in 2019. Okay, what are the pages? Journal articles, they have pages because whenever I publish my research article, it will be on a certain page. So this is the DOI. DOI is the permanent. DOI means permanent. That website, that is not a website that can even if a website, it is just permanent. It doesn't go. It will be always be there. It's not the same as a website. That's what they call a DOI. Okay. This journal is by International Journal of Applied Economics. These are the publishers. International Journal of Applied Economics. This is the journal name. You can put star red means it is a must. So the pages, sometimes if they don't give the pages, we can use the normal one, but most of the time they're supposed to have given us the page and tell us what page is this work. This page is page 163 to page 170. You can see it there, page 163 to 170. Page 163 to 170. What is the volume? The volume is 33 and it is issue number 1. They will not accept your journal article if you do not do these things. You say here, volume 33, issue 1, because there could be some companies, they issue many issues. There it is. Taylor Francis is a Taylor Francis group, you know. So this is the name of the journal. Once I give you like this, you can see, even if I made a mistake, I can always edit. And if I come to my references, I didn't want to put it there because if I put it there, it's going to affect my whole work. Let me go to a control new and do this. Then if I come here and put references, take back, there it is. It's saying it's not there. Let me see if I edit. It's not there. It has refused to accept it. It's such a coincidence. Now it has accepted. Because I had cut. Then I can update. It had refused because I had cut. supposed to allow me to update citation. Yeah, there it is. There it is. I don't know whether my own journal article is here, the one I published the other day. This is a journal article that I published the other day. You see, I have even to agree that I did not copy and paste, that I have, I have to agree that I did all this. You see, look at that. Just to publish a journal article, I have to sign and agree, because I do not want copying and pasting. So that in case there will be any copying and pasting, I will be held responsible in the long run if anything happens. I don't know where that journal article is. I don't know whether it is this one. Yes, that is the journal article I wrote. So if I am going to reference it again, I will come here. I will say reference, citation, add new. This is I was looking at 2 companies because I did an MBA and I still want to pursue those things that I did on the MBA. I'm interested in this. I published in the Journal of Accounting Management. I do some accounting. So this is 2021. The pages, you can see the pages. Pages 173, you see? Because if a journal article becomes many pages of a book, they'll give me a hard copy book. Page 173 to page 188. That's where my journal is fitting in. They have many pages. Then volume 11, issue 1. Volume 11, issue 1. Okay, where is my DOI? You see, this is I can't find the DOI at the moment. I can only be able to find it when I go to the internet, but you can see what I mean. If I find the DOI, I just put it there. They didn't put the DOI in this one, but I can find it because the journal is available on the internet. Then I can just come here and say the author. This time I'm not going to say add. Then I say okay. Then I click okay. There it is, references update. You see? And now this is a journal article. This is the abstract. The abstract is telling us what this work is about. So that somebody who is not interested will not read. But if they read the abstract and they say, oh, I like this work, then they will continue. You see? These are the key words. Introduction. An introduction, I'm saying, this is the objective of this work. I'm examining this. I'm presenting this concept as a possibility. And this research is providing an opportunity for this and that and that. This is an introduction, I'm saying it is resting on the following 3 P's. And then I continue. And then I say, this article is made up of the following sections. That's what I hope, can you see my work? Hello? Are you able to see?
Ma'am.
Are you able
Yes,
to
we can.
Oh, because I don't want to be talking to myself. Okay. This article is comprised of the following sections. The first section provides an introduction and the problem. The second section is the literature review. Is examining the key concepts. Is providing the theoretical framework. The third section is the research method I've used. The fourth section, I'm presenting the results. The fifth section, I'm presenting the interpretation and the discussion. Section 6 and 7, I'm providing the conclusion and recommendations. You see? And then I just continue a little bit. I'm not asking you to do so much, but for literature review, for this was, they told me to combine the introduction and the problem statement. That's what they told me. I had written them separately. They told me, put the introduction and the problem statement together. That's why you can see this. Then the literature review of what I'm doing. There it is. Then you see a table you can create for yourself. You see the table, table 3. There is a table 1 there. And here is the table 1 reflected. I've mixed the tables. And then here is the figure. The figure again. Methodology table. You see, these tables, I just made them up by going to Pick and Pay or whichever company I was using, and then I create a small table. And I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just asking you to create a little bit of work. There is a referencing. And if you click here, it will take you exactly to where that journal article is. If I say allow, it will open exactly that journal article. That is a journal article that I used by this particular person. You see, there is a journal article. So that is what I'm talking about. Even I've referenced myself on other things. This was my PhD and other things. So I hope now, as far as referencing is concerned, we'll not have a problem. I hope the students can see what I'm doing, because I don't know. Okay. So let me just now, that is clear now. Can I now go to today's assignment to take you clearly, just to take you through, we have an idea of what we are going to do. Yeah, this is what we are going to do. We are going to create 3 lesson plans, because in methods 3, you will create 9 lesson plans. So today we are in methods 2. I'm showing you how to do this because it's part of the portfolio of method 3, because method 3 is an exit module. So right now we are role playing on how we are going to do methods 3. We are going to create a lesson plan for grade 11, a lesson plan for grade 12, and a lesson plan for grade 10. So you'll open these things which I've already put there for you, and you'll see the sample, and then you'll create your own. Here is a lesson plan. So you'll select and creating table of list. You select any of one of these. So you can say, today I'm going to teach the students how to do the table of content or the list of figures and table, and you can select these, or you can select these 2 as one, because you can't select these as, or even you can do them as one, because that is not difficult. And then you say, duration is 60 minutes. You insert all the other things. Then you'll go to the CAPS document here and copy the relevant area. These things are on Moodle. You select the relevant area of what you are going to be teaching the students. So here we are doing MS Word, and then you can select whatever you want to be doing, and then you can be able to find out exactly how this can help you in in writing down the requirement of what the students are supposed to know in general, just in general. These are grade 10 in general. Then you can be able to identify what they are supposed to do, just general. And then I'll give you an example. Then we are using, I'm almost using the TP, but this is not TP. So what we are going to do is that we are going to look at the knowledge, the skills, and the values. And that's why I'm saying I want us to look at this textbook on chapter 4. I want us to look at this textbook on chapter 4. Does everybody have this textbook? Who does not have the book? Lungile, did you get a book? Lungile, do you have this book? Sipokazi, who does not have the book?
I don't have one, Mom. I'm not around Durban.
Oh, is that talking? Sipokazi.
Yes.
Who else does not have the book? Lauren, do you have a book?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Yes, let's look at chapter 4, just briefly, because that's what we are going to do to create this assignment. Here are the key words. We are looking at the students who their diversity needs, and we want to look at the objectives. if you look at even the chapter objectives, they are saying outline, identify, describe, specify. Those are the keywords you are going to use when you're talking about the skills the learners are going to achieve. And then here on page 68, we are looking at the different types of learners. The learners, they have different genders. These are all the keywords. They have social, cultural, and different ethnicity. They have, some of them have existing knowledge. We did this last week. I talked about the other week. We talked about existing knowledge, expert knowledge, initial knowledge. Remember, yes, motivation. Some students are motivated extrinsically by rewards and other things. Some students are motivated intrinsically by doing well and performing and getting good marks, doing by themselves. So somebody who is motivated externally, as a teacher, you must find out, how am I going to motivate the learner so that the learner can learn? But somebody who is internally motivated within themselves, you don't need to wake them up. They will just wake up and enjoy doing the work. Students have different learning styles. So in your lesson plan, how are you going to make sure that you accommodate the different learning styles so that your lesson is at least encompassing? How are you going to be able to take care of the students with special needs? Some students, they have hearing disabilities, others they learn well by doing, others they learn well by writing, others they learn well by hearing, others they have ADHD, others they have learning disabilities. I know it's very difficult, it's very challenging, but as a teacher, that is one of the reasons why we are doing teaching, to be able to cater for students with diverse needs. And then we make the educational equalizer, whereby we make education to be more equal for students who are disadvantaged. And technology literacy. Technology literacy, here we are talking about what technology know-how do the students have. So if I go to page 70, I can see here, this page 70 is very important, and page 71, it's telling me, you give a general description of the learners, their motivational levels, their special needs. Okay, then the objectives, briefly describe what you want your learners to know and to do. What is the goal of this lesson? Like today's goal for me is to understand what the students are going through, become a supporter, to scaffold you. Those are the objectives of these lessons of today. To review the lessons by showing you how to reference, how to write, how to become a better writer, how to understand what is a rubric. Because you can see now a rubric is giving us different marks for different levels of students' abilities. Because a student will tell me, but I did the assignment. Yes, you did the assignment, but you did it on a different level from another person. Okay, so develop the list of each of the learning objectives. Okay, and then the learning environment. Where are you going to be learning? Is it going to be a physical classroom? Is it going to be a laboratory? Is it going to be using Zoom? What is the mode of learning? Is it going to be a place outside in the field? Is it field work? Is it in a bus whereby you are exploring? Is it in a mountain whereby you are looking at geographical sites? Are you going to go to the beach? So given the conditions, the student will be able to have to perform. You cannot tell the students, tell me when I mix acid plus an alkaline, what I will get. Yes, they can cram, but it is much easier for them to perform it literally in the laboratory, and then they will have achieved the learning objective. Describe where the learning is designed to occur. The resources is the 3 M's. That's what I'm asking in the test. Material, media, and method. It's in the test. So support, the learners will require the learning environment that can hinder or challenge the learning to occur. Will there be distractions? Then develop the initial draft of your lesson plan. Then create the instructional, the activities the learners will learn. That's what I'm asking you. You create a worksheet. Is your worksheet going to be revolving around motivational activities, learners to be motivated to doing the work as you are teaching? Is the learning just going to be an orientational activity where you're asking them generally to create a small scenario? Then they can create a simple table of content. Or is it going to be an application activity where they're actually going to use a previous assignment to create the list of content? Is it going to be an evaluation activity whereby you are assuming the learners, they have already done everything, now this time they're going to do it and give you for marking? And then here we have the instructional methods. Provide a short description. How are they going to learn? Is it discovery learning? Is it problem solving? Is it going to be discussion? And that's what you're going to put in your lesson plan. You give me a small paragraph telling me the learning strategies that you're going to apply. And then here we have number 7, instructional media. You have provided a brief description of the kind of media you are going to use, and then the materials, and then how you are going to implement this lesson, and how you are going to evaluate the lesson to ensure that the learners have actually achieved the learning objectives. So before you do this work, you must look at page 70 and 71. Those students who do not have, they must find students who can take a photograph for page 71 and 72. 70 and 71. Somebody can ask somebody to take a photograph of page 70 and 71 for you and send to you. You must read this page 70 and 71 before starting this assignment of lesson planning, because I want to see that you have actually understood what is this all about. And then if I look at page 72, they're looking at the learners. What are the socioeconomic status? Because sometimes you might ask the learners to come with a computer and they don't have a computer. So what are you going to do to adopt? What is their culture and ethnicity? Some people, you are telling them, today we are going to do our work based on the work of Harry Potter. I had some students, they said they are not going to do Harry Potter. They said Harry Potter has nothing to do with what their religion is about. Existing knowledge, you might be asking them to do something on Jesus Christ or something, and then they tell you, I'm a Muslim, I will not do an assignment on Jesus Christ. So tell me maybe to go and do something in my own religion, or give us something that it has no religion background. Existing knowledge and content. We remember we said that some students, they have initial knowledge, others they have advanced knowledge, others they have expert knowledge. So you must be able to accommodate those different types of learners in the learning. Others, they are going to be virtually very bored. Then motivation, I've talked about intrinsic motivation, whereby the intrinsic motivation is coming from the learner enjoying doing the work themselves. Whereas extrinsic motivation is generated from giving the students a grade, telling the students, well done, recognizing the student work. So intrinsic motivation is more to do with cognitive. In fact, those are the kind of things that I would like to see in your assignment, whereby you are talking about Vygotsky and Piaget and Brunner. Their work revolves around intrinsic motivation, whereby the learner is able to say, I am motivating myself. But behaviorism works with extrinsic motivation. So intrinsic and extrinsic motivation are often thought to be opposite ends of one another, so that we can see from this diagram. High intrinsic, John has a very high intrinsic. Internally, he believes, he's self-regulated. Mary has a low intrinsic, but Mary somehow has a high or medium extrinsic. Mary wants to be motivated by being told, do this, do that, recognize, well done, continue, keep it up. You have ran well, tomorrow you can run better. That's what Mary wants. But John, he says, whether I ran well or not, it is up to me. Tomorrow I'll run better because it is inside himself. Learning styles, some learners, they are learning through seeing, talking, kinesthetic, the diversity. Even though some students who have special needs, diversity is an asset. Diversity is not a liability, because you can use the different learning styles, the different challenges, the initial learner to teach the expert learner something that maybe the expert learner thought they knew. And then here we have page 76, which is also telling us how you can use diversity as an asset. So that you're asking the students whether they can copy and paste, whether they can insert a formula. Some of them, they can say, I can probably do that, I can probably do this. It is just teaching us how to do this. So then we have very important page 78 on objectives. And that's what we are doing. Objectives. The objectives is made up of 3 components. Performance. What will students do to indicate that they have learned? Conditions, the circumstances under which the students are expected to perform. You cannot expect them to do something when they say, I don't have a computer even. Criteria. This is the standard that is defining acceptable performance. And that's what I'm calling a rubric. So that the learner can know, I barely made it. I did it. And then we have a rubric, and we have the normal checklist. Checklist where you tell the students, go home tomorrow, come with a plant, come with a seed, come with a bowl, come with a container, come with cotton wool, come with the scissors, and then you'll just do the checklist to say whether the student brought or not. So if a student didn't bring a scissors, the student didn't bring a scissors. So there's no question about it. It's not like a rubric whereby you can say, yes, the students have tried. If the student did not bring the seed, the student did not bring the seed. In your work, you're going to use figure 4.8 to create observable action verbs in objectives. Which are those observable action words I want to see in your work? Compare, translate, describe, measure, identify, draw, construct, create, explain, repair, define, administer, operate, adjust, replace, compose, compute, and solve. Those are the keywords I want to see in your lesson plan. Please do not use the following words: understand, appreciate, think, know, recognize, believe, become familiar, become aware with, become comfortable with. Do not use those words. Why am I asking you not to use those words? Those words are not smart. Your lesson plan must be smart. Smart, we know what it means. Who can tell me what SMART stands for? What does SMART stand for? Lauren. Lauren, Sipokazi, we've done this before. What does the word SMART stand for? Who can tell us? Yes, yes, Sipokazi.
I think it's to apply your creative thinking.
Okay, but what does the word, what can I write? What is S? S stands for? Please, students, let's talk.
The S stands for specific.
Good, good, excellent, excellent, Lauren. Okay, another person, M stands for?
Measurable.
Measurable, excellent, excellent. Yes, you see, I can see we are learning. A stands for? Please, let's continue. A?
Attainable.
Good, good, attainable. Yes, the students that can be able to do within that 60 minutes. R stands for?
Reliable.
Relevant. Yes, relevant. Yes, you cannot tell the student to bring a scissors and a seed when you're not going to be doing photosynthesis. You ask them to go to game store and bring some magazine cuttings of a laptop and a computer because you're going to teach on processors and RAM. Okay. The other one, T stands for? Last but not least, T stands for? Somebody?
Time-based.
Time-based, you know? Yes, time-based or time boundary, you know? Time-bound. Bound meaning boundary, you know? Term meaning boundary. Boundary, our boundary is, in this case, is 60 minutes. That's our boundary. Our boundary in this lesson is 60 minutes. So you are going to create your lesson around 60 minutes and not more, so that the learners can be able to do their work. Then on figure 4.9, these are the things that you are going to put: the time limit, the duration of the lesson, the essential characteristic of your lesson, and that's what I'm going to look at here. So here you have knowledge, create action, then you say, by the end, I want you to write here, by the end, I'm about to finish of this lesson, the learners will be able to, then you write for me in a number here. You can write for me at least 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to 6 minimum, you know. Yes, don't write one. By the end of this lesson, the learners will be able to gain the following knowledge. Here, in this one, I don't mind you, even if you use those words like appreciate and values and awareness, because we can say they might not necessarily be measurable, but they are okay. They will be able to appreciate the value of computer processors. Or in understanding the factors, they'll be able to understand the factors to consider in purchasing a computer and so forth. Then we are going to go teaching strategy. No bullets in the whole work. I do not want to see any bullets in this entire work. No bullets. You must write a paragraph of the strategy you're going to use. And this time we are going to use, we have learned about constructivism and instructivism. So you mix them here and say, I will use a variety of teaching methods. I'll show you an example. Resources you can just there. Situational analysis. Tell me how many students you have, the nature of the learners, initial knowledge about the topic, the resources availability, in a story. I want you to write for me a story. This whole thing is a story. The focus question you say, how do we, for example, I'm just saying, how do we create tables of content? How to generate automatic table of content. That's going to be, you're going to be, okay? Then introduction, stories. Tell me a story that I can be able to understand exactly what you're going to introduce your lesson, that you tell me exactly what you're going to do for 10 minutes. A story. Please, I'm going to say again, do not, I'm going to say this, do not include notes in this lesson plan. No notes. Any notes you have, tell me, refer to notes. I have created a separate MS Word document if you have notes. Tell me, Dr. Gachie, refer. You can even tell me, refer to page whatever of my notes. Do not put glass notes here. Even if you are teaching network technologies, do not tell me network technologies is this technologies that I do not want to see that. Maybe just mentioning, but not put here. So stage 1, what are you going to do? Another story. I want you to become a storyteller. That's what a lesson plan is about. A lesson plan you give, if I want to start a business, I want to go to the bank. I go to the bank with my plan. I tell them, this, I want to start a business on cooking. I give the bank manager to look at my lesson plan, then they see whether they can give me money. I cannot start telling them buffet, gammon, chocolate. What would the bank manager got to do with that? The bank manager wants a story of how I'm going to generate revenue. Because the bank manager wants to see, you want 200,000? Yes, I want 200,000. Yes. What do you want 200,000 for? I want 200,000 to start a business for cooking. He's not interested whether I will be cooking chips or mandazis or samosas. He is interested in knowing whether I am capable of giving him a return on his investment. So I will write a story to the bank manager. I will not tell him about the different foods I will be cooking. So write to me a story of what you are going to do, a story that is engaging. The story must be engaging, and the story must incorporate your audience. Your story must incorporate your audience. It's not a story of me. It's a story whereby when I'm reading the story, I can see the learners are there, even if not physically. You are implying the learners are there. You are preparing your lesson plan with the learners in mind. That's what I want to see. Engaging and incorporate your audience, the learners. Please, I'm going to ask the students, I do not want to see these words, we, ours, you. They make me, why don't you just say the learners? The learners will, and do not write the learners will do this and the teacher will do that. That is not what I'm asking. That's not a storyteller. A storyteller is something that is incorporating the story in such a way that it becomes very succinct and very interesting. That's what I want to see. Then consolidation. How you are going to make sure that you have consolidated the learners well. Maybe they will do a small task, and then you attach the assessment there in the work. And if you have some references, you can do. I don't know whether I have a sample lesson plan here that I can show you, which is appropriate, because it must also be appropriate. So this one was doing introduction to graphs. I hope it is appropriate because I just took them randomly. You see, this is what I'm talking about a storyteller. These students have told me a story. This lesson will demonstrate. There will be demonstration in this lesson. You see, this is what I'm talking about, storytelling. You can see the introduction is a story. This is a story. That's what I'm talking about. The person is telling us what he will do. What he will do. He will use a PowerPoint. He will use demonstration. He will discuss. You see, these are the keywords that I'm seeing in this work. So that when I'm marking, I'm looking at the keywords. There will be demonstration, there will be discussion, and there will be the use of PowerPoint. Okay, and the students will do an activity. Then situational analysis is a grade 10 lesson with 20 learners with 30 computers. Each learner has a textbook and a printer and worksheets that I can use and I'll navigate around. You see, this is just another story. That's what a lesson plan is about. Introduction is another story. So that I can have a picture. This one will introduce this to the learners. Okay, that's, you see, so this is not notes, it's okay. But when you come and start giving me all the notes, the bank manager will not want. But if you tell the bank manager, these are the kind of foods that I will be cooking, just briefly, he can believe it. Okay, this is what, you see, this is now another story. But the story is incorporating what the students will do and what the learner will do and the whole thing. This is another story. Okay, just showing me the graphs. Okay, then he's telling me in this other work, he'll do this practical guided work, which I don't have a problem with. But these are not just notes. The students is teaching me exactly what they will do. And then he'll give the students a class activity. And then he'll conclude and give the students a homework. You see, that's what they will do. So there is the activity and maybe marking rubric. Okay, let me see. Then there's you will also prepare for me a PowerPoint. Each one of them will have a PowerPoint because we are mimicking method 3. This is the PowerPoint the learner will use to teach. Okay, then I can come here. This is the students' activity that they will be given. Okay, then I can see how they will do it. Then the learners will do the calculations. This is grade 10. This is another one of grade 12. I don't know. I hope it is appropriate because I don't know how to copy things which might not be appropriate. Okay, there it is. Strategy. Me, I don't want this. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't want this. That's what it's also good to show you what I don't want. I don't want this. The students will have to discuss. Yes. Yes, but I think this is me who was just discussing the strategy, okay, engagement. Yeah, this is the story. Yeah, you see, it's more behaviorism and constructivism, you know, constructivism of what the students will do. Videos, the students they'll be asked to define what is a RAM, and then 20 minutes they will do. You see, I'm just talking about the same thing. I'm explaining behaviorism. What will they do? RAM. Memory, okay, they will be asked to look at various. You see, even if the student is using some of the notes, he's not using exclusively the notes because I don't want exclusive notes. I want more of explaining to me, how are you going to use this information? Yes, you have the information. What is the relevant? How are you going to convey this information? How are you going to engage with the learners for them to understand the different types of memory capacity? Maybe you are going to give them a worksheet. Maybe you're going to come up with an image from Game Store showing different capacities and different prices and so forth and different manufacturers. Any question? Because I do not want to do so much until the students are wondering when will the lesson end, or I also want to hear from the learners. Yes.
Ma'am,
Yes, Philippa.
I wanted to ask, on the lesson plan, do we get to choose any topic from grade 10 and grade 11 and grade 12, or is there like a guiding thing to say which topics we have to use to create the lesson plans?
Yes, that's a very good question. You are going to use exactly as I put them here. You're going to open these folders, which I've already put on Moodle. You're going to open here, you double click like this, and write on this. You're going to write on this. You're going to write exactly on this MS Word document I've given you. So everybody whose work will look the same. You are going to,
so the topic will be on that page.
yes.
On this Word. So the topic is going to be there and we'll just use it. So for example, the topic here is hardware.
Yes, RAM.
And the concept. Okay, so then we'll do a lesson plan on that, basically.
Yes, basically there, that is grade 12. And then you prepare for me a PowerPoint, you prepare for me a marking rubric and a worksheet. And then you go again on the same, you open here, grade 11, you double click here, and then you write for me a topic on exactly on these factors to consider making in buying decision, in buying decisions of a laptop or a computer. I don't even mind even so I want to see how you're going to teach your learners to be able to go to Game Store and understand that they can be able to buy a laptop and laptops are not the same. Then you do exactly here on this MS Word document. So the topic, you'll just double click and start writing here. Factors to consider when purchasing a laptop. You go again here. You open all this and fill in. Then you open here grade 10, which I've already done. You open this, you do MS Word. Here is the work that we are doing right now. The topic is creating table of content, list of figures, and list of tables as it is. Copy it as it is, then start doing. That's a good question. Any other question?
So we are going to do 3 lesson plans.
You are going to do 3 lesson plans. We are doing 3 lesson plans, and I'm telling you in advance, methods 3, you will do 9 lesson plans. So you are preparing yourself for the future, because method 3 must go for external examination and you must do a portfolio. So now we are preparing ourselves with the end in mind. We are working with the end in mind so that when we go to method 3, because I'll teach you method 3, I'll tell you the same lesson plan you prepared. This time we are preparing them times 3 times 3 times 3. So that we'll have 3 for grade 10, 3 for grade 11, 3 for grade 12. So exactly what we are doing, we'll do it on a bigger scale. That's a good question. Any other question? Because when we discuss like this, it's very important. I'm removing confusion, because confusion will be the problem that you can face. Yes. This chapter, you have to read this chapter 4 before you do this assignment. I wonder how you can be able to do this assignment without reading chapter 4. And even chapter 5 is very important, because chapter 5 is showing you how and the practical benefits of planning. And I will ask you this in the test, page 95. So if you don't read chapter 4 and 5, I wonder how you'll be able to write this, how are you going to write, how are you going to do this, even the test, without knowing this textbook? Because this textbook is everything you need. And then you reference it. You see here, page. They have even given us an example of planning. Cooperative learning, you see, figure 6.3. And I will use cooperative learning, discovery learning, game, simulation, presentation, because here they're telling us what are the instructional methods you can use. They're telling us you can use demonstration, you can use discussion, you can use simulation, you can use games, you can use cooperative learning, discovery, drill and practice is behaviorism, problem solving, you give them a problem. And then on page 113, you can see their instructional methods for identifying ways to involve the learners. So presentation, we require literal student activity because you are the one who is presenting, not unless the students are presenting. Demonstration may not go as maybe you have planned. You have to look at how to use the various. So this is so important. You have to read these chapters, 5, 4, benefits of objectives. Very good. You know the problems that now with this, how to develop various types of activities. We did all this with the students. But now I'm asking you to read them, and then we can, whenever we meet, I go through them. It's not that I will not go through them, but I want you to start reading by yourself. Here is the importance of planning. Let me look at the importance of planning before we can call it a day. Let me look at here. Practical benefits of planning, page 95. Page 95, before, practical benefits of planning. We are planning before we go to the classroom. Like me, last night, I sat down and once I told you I have changed the assignment, I sat down and I prepared. I put this work in a folder. So I was preparing before so that it can act as a bridge. That's what I did yesterday. I prepared before. I looked at this textbook. I prepared exactly what I wanted you to do. So then the teacher has prepared the kind of activity he's going to give the students. And then the teacher has prepared a checklist to see that the students are going to bring the things that were asked to bring, and a schedule. A schedule is how you are going to go about in a logical sequence. So that is before. You plan before you go to the classroom. And then you plan during, so during you, of course, we have planned before, but when you're in the class now, what are you going to do? The instructional plan during is acting as a roadmap that is describing what you want to reach and the routes you are planning to take there. You see, I had my plan today for this lesson was to ask you what are you facing, what are the challenges you are facing, and then from there, after I've understood what challenges you are facing, I was able now to go back to the assignment 1 and showed you how to do referencing. I've showed you how to prepare the table of content. I've shown you how to do a list of figures and a list of table, because I have understood what were your challenges, because I have evaluating even myself. So that is what is during. During helps you to keep track of the instruction. It allows you to respond to the changing needs of the learners and opportunities. So when you told me, Lauren, she told me, Lungile or Lauren told me, the problem was do you want us to draw? I said, I don't want you to draw, but I want to show you what a rubric is about. So I've used this as an opportunity. It's called a teachable moment. I've used this question you asked me as a teachable moment to show you why some students, they will get 40, others they get 60, others they get 80, and others get 90 on the same assignment. It's because of the idea that the learners are not giving the same equal measure. So that's what I'm calling a teachable moment. And then during, it also acts as an outline. What am I planning on doing today? I'm planning on teaching you how to prepare a lesson plan and also to force you to read this book. Compass is acting as a compass so that I'm not going to digress too much. I found I was going to spend so much work time on assignment 1, and then I realized I might not do what I had planned on doing today. Okay, then after instruction, after we have gone and we have logged off, I will evaluate myself as a diary to say, what have I done with you so far? Then I will diarize what we have done so far. It will act as a briefing book to tell me what exactly we have done and what we are going to do next. So I'm going to ask you students, please take this book, chapter 4 to 6, and just, it's not hard, it's so easy. Just go through these chapters before you start that assignment so that you can write for me. Even chapter 7 is telling us the different kind of media you can use. This book is, yes. What I'm noticing, this chapter 4 up to 7 is on planning the technology enhanced learning environment experience. Yes, that's what this chapter is about. 4, 5, 6, and 7. It's a very short chapter, which if you read before doing this lesson plan, you are going to get 90 and above. But if you do not read this textbook, you will give me small amount of work. But if you read and understand how to create a lesson plan based on this book, you will do exactly as you are required. And what is the essence? The essence is enhanced. Enhance is the key word if you look at that page 65. What is to enhance? Anybody, before I call it a day, because I don't want to spend so much of your time, who can tell me what is the meaning of the word enhanced? That's what the book is telling us. Enhanced learning experience. What is to enhance? Who can give me an example of, then I can understand what is to enhance. Have you ever enhanced anything? Sipokazi. What is to enhance? Here I can see some key words. What is to enhance? Dauren, where is Treasure today? Is Treasure here?
I think to further improve quality or value of something.
Okay. I thought Treasure was here. Makosazana, what is to enhance if you look at these words?
To intensify or increase.
You see, so what is happening is one teacher will just teach as required by the CAPS document. Here is the CAPS document. One teacher will just say, today I'm teaching word processing to grade 10, and I'm just going to teach them just how to create tables or just the basic things. But another teacher will go further and ask themselves, if I want to teach the students how to create a list or columns or tables or formatting, what am I going to do? And then the teacher will go into an advanced and enhancing the lesson. That's what enhancing is about. Enhancing means making it better than just normal, so that this is just doing barely minimum. You want to enhance this lesson so that the learners can be able to actually do it for themselves. Create the table of content. Learn how to create the list of figures. Learn how to create meaningful. Somebody else will teach the students just bare minimum on how to create a list of figures. But I'm going further. I'm telling you to create a list of figures, discuss the figure before, discuss the figure after, acknowledge the sense of where the figure was found, and then make the figure relevant. And if possible, if it's a table, create the table for yourself. That's what to enhance means. But another teacher will not enhance and just tell the students to create a list of figures, you do this and that. And then the teacher says, I've done my job. You see, there's a difference. So there's a difference between a teacher who enhances and a teacher who does not enhance. That is what I'm talking about here. And that is what this book is about. This section 2. Look at this section 2 of this textbook and enhance your work. Any other question?
So are we going to do the PowerPoint for the 3 lesson plans?
Yes. Yes, let me show you. Here it is. You'll open this, then you prepare a PowerPoint for this, as the way they have done. Here you'll demonstrate how you will teach the lesson. Yes, here you can even use a YouTube video. Some of the learners here, they use a YouTube video. Let me show you. Here you see, the student use a YouTube video to show, demonstrate, to introduce the lesson. So
I know everyone's aware of what's RAM, but not everyone has a deep understanding about RAM. Oh, I have like 1 gigs of RAM in my old computer, but my laptop has 8 gigs of RAM. So why is it better to have more RAM? Well, with more RAM, your computers and smartphones can do more things and run more programs at the same time. Well, we all know that, but most people can't really explain RAM beyond that point. So that's where I'll try to help a little bit. Let's divide the memory into 2 categories. The first type of memory is one which can hold data when there's no electricity running through it. This includes different types of flash drives. You can carry it around and plug it into any computer and it still holds all your data. The second type of memory is one which loses all its data when there's no power attached to it, also called as volatile memory. And RAM is one type of volatile memory. When there's no electricity, the RAM is empty. So when you first power up your computer, RAM is really empty, but the hard disk contains all the programs and games waiting to be run. The processor can only run the program if it is present on the RAM. If your computer boots up and RAM is empty, how does the processor run anything? Okay, I lied a little bit. The computer processor can run a little bit of software that doesn't have to be present on RAM. Right when your computer boots up, BIOS looks for operating system inside the hard disk and it takes out the operating system and puts it on the RAM. Now operating system loads up and you can run any program, but first you have to go in the flash memory and bring the program to RAM. So let's load Google Chrome in memory. I can load Counter-Strike in memory, and now I want to load Photoshop, but there's no room. So we have to make some space by removing Counter-Strike, and then we can load Photoshop. So this is why having a larger RAM is better. You can fit more software that can be run by the processor at the same time, and you don't have to go back to your slow hard drive or flash memory to get any of your programs. The process in which you move the programs in and out of memory and slow hard drive, that process is called as paging, and it's really slow. So when you press Ctrl-Alt-Delete or open Android Task Killer, what you are really doing is just taking out the unnecessary programs from the memory and making space for new programs. So thank you for watching this video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more amazing stuff.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. When you share a video, and then here is the student, they did the RAM, how the students created the RAM. This is what you are going to do. You are going to create you create your own work and show us why you are going to use RAM. Yes, and then you can do that. So, and I want you to do better than these. These are just basic students. I want you to be that student who can be able to do better than any other student. So that's what you are going to do. You see, this one has prepared 29 slides of work. You look at how good that work is. If I go here, I go slideshow from the beginning. There, that's John Goodyear. What are we going to learn about? You started by objectives. How are we going to learn? We're going to learn by the previous lesson. We did all these. So today I'm going to teach some different concepts. Okay, these are the skills the learners will get. Remember, these students they were presenting to me. So you're going to give me, but I'll use it as though you are presenting to me. So these students stood in the front of the class and they presented this work to me. And then I was looking. You can see the work the students have done: define, discuss, identify. You see? Then here, knowledge. Knowledge is the head. The students to know the role of networks, the importance, the requirements, the uses. Here they are developing an awareness of that environment. Okay? Then the learner has introduced the lesson. He's giving me an outline because they were presenting to me in the class. He told me this is what we are going to do, what is network, importance of network, advantages of network, limitations of network, basic components of a network, and small types of networks. And then there was also more there. Okay. Conclusion and assessment. So what is a network? The student has taught us here. What is a network? Using images.
Now a network is any system of things that are connected to each other.
He put a video.
Allows each part of the network to interact with the other parts.
You see, the student included a video in their work collection. So these are computers that are connected in a network. Smartphones, wireless, okay, network, one or two. What should not happen? Imagine a life without internet, because network is interconnection. Advantages of network, we are able to share, like now I'm sharing with you because of the internet. network. They allow us to email, to chat, to Zoom, we are printing, we are scanning, we are doing all that kind of things. Whenever my bank, they usually send me a PDF. They tell me sign the PDF. They don't want me to sign the PDF using a digital. So I usually print the PDF, sign with my own pen, then I scan again and send to the bank. That's what network is about. So that they're able now to get my signed copy. Okay, these are LAN. This data that is kept in a secure location in the university. These are banks. They also have to keep we do internet banking. But disadvantages, we have seen phishing. Phishing is people who are collecting information from people. They pretend that they are banking. They are hackers. There's security issues, spamming, children seeing objectionable materials that they're not supposed to be seeing. You see, basic components of a network for it to be there. Okay, these are computer networks, wired networks, wireless network, system, software. What you need to have a network in place. Then as assessment, the students have given them the students give them a matching, then they can say which word is matching to another. Look at that, and then you give them, you're introduced to two types of, create a document in Microsoft Word, and then tell me the two types of network that I've taught you today. They are the devices that are needed, the main purpose, advantages, limitations, and an example of a network that you have seen. They can say FNB is a network, University of KwaZulu-Natal is a network, and then the conclusion. So that's what you are going to do times 3. Any other question? Yes, I prefer the questions. Questions, they're making me to become clearer to the students. Questions are very important. Any other questions before we can end? Yes, Tresha, I was wondering where you are. Today you're calling yourself Annie. Tresha? Is that not Tresha? Tresha?
Hello.
Today you're calling yourself Annie.
Yes.
Oh, you have a different name?
No, it's my nickname.
Oh, yes. I saw your email. I'm telling the students that they can submit the assignments on Monday. Is Monday okay?
Yes, it's fine.
Yes, submit the assignment on Monday. Please do the assignment very well and look at this video. Do the assignment very well. Submit it on Monday. But any student who has not submitted their first draft must do so today and tomorrow so that I can give them feedback. Because I do not want students to start doing catch-up program because they never submitted the work and I never gave them a feedback. Let us avoid those catch-up. We are not the catch-up type. We are the type that catches up, not to be cut. Yes, please develop that high self-regulation. When I'm looking at your assignment, I want to see these words like self-regulation, self-monitoring, self-metacognition. Those words are in the PDF. I don't know why the students, they never use those words. I was looking for those words. I never saw them in your assignment. Why? They're saying the work are there in that PDF I gave you, that TLO PDF. I was wondering, I only saw students using only the word self-regulation, and the work is here on this PDF here. The concept of self, it is so much. I couldn't imagine the students did not do it. Look. You see, here. There were so many self-regulation, self-motivation, there are so many metacognition, self-efficacy, where you have a self-esteem. These are the words that I was looking when I'm looking at the assignment. I never saw these words. And all you need to do is to copy these, then reference, and then put your own idea. You copy here. Let me just do it before we can go, because I want to help students. There's no need of us rushing, and then you go, and then you tell me, Dr. Gachie, you should have gave us an example. Let me just show you a bit, then I show you. Just 1 minute. You see? Here, self-concept, then self-esteem, then we have self-efficacy. Those are when I'm marking, those are the keywords I want to look at. Self-handicapping. You know, self-handicapping is whereby a learner is making themselves handicapped by making themselves, to self-handicapping is like you are cutting your own arm. That's what the learners are doing. When they're telling me I can't do it, they are self-handicapping. They are cutting their own arm, saying that I can't do it, you know. And then here, if I come here, oh, I didn't want to do that. Sorry. Here, you say, I will discuss. You not there. I will discuss the various cells, and then I give Dr. Gachie some examples. I've already told you what is to self-handicap, where you are cutting yourself, and not cutting yourself literally, you are making yourself to be disabled. That's what self-handicapping is. And then you tell me, what is an example of a learner who is making themselves to think they are disabled? They are always thinking, I cannot, I can't. And then you ask yourself, what do I do to help the students to stop self-handicapping? You see, that's what I'm talking about. How do you help the learners to stop this self-handicapping behavior? Because it is a learned helplessness that the learners are coming with. Yes. I'm just trying to outline the key words so that you see how you can be able to there. Okay. Any other question that you want us to say? Then here you add your own. And that's where application comes in. That's where application comes in. Whereby you're going to tell me self-regulated learner is one who understands the idea of self-concept. Concept you have about yourself. Concept is the picture, image. Self-esteem, how you feel about yourself. Self-handicapping is when you are handicapping yourself. Self-monitoring is when somebody is telling you, let's go for the movie. You tell them, no, I'm not going to the movies because Dr. Gachie, I need to do something. You are monitoring yourself. Can we end the lecture now? Any other thing you want to say? Philippa, before we go class rep, anything you want to tell me?
Oh, can I ask?
Yes.
So for them, we always have to say for the subtopic of Kwasani High School, we have to say application to Kwasani High School, and then we write what you are going to do.
I will prefer like that. You know why I will prefer like that? Because I'm using that to help you get out of the box. Because if I don't ask you to do that, you will just mix so many things without examples. So I'm forcing you to do that as application to force you. I'm forcing you out. That's what I'm doing. I'm literally forcing you out. That's what I'm doing. Yes, and before we go, let me just open for you. I'm writing a book of that thoughts become things. Me, I'm an author. I write books. Let me just show you quickly. Yeah, as it's opening, I don't know why it's taking so long. Anybody else who has a question? I don't know why it's freezing or. Any other question? I don't know why it's, yeah, here it is. I think my document is too large, but let me just show you quickly before we go. Anybody else who has a question can ask so that we can multitask, and then I let you go. I'm wondering what's happening with this book of, let me see. If I come here, I have my own applications. Let me just show you so that you can see what I do. You see, everywhere I'm saying an application. You see, I'm giving a story and then I'm writing an application so that the person who will read my book will understand how they can apply what I'm telling them. I'm writing a book on stories. It's a story of Reggie. Then I say, how do you apply that story of Reggie in your own life? That's what I'm doing. So that's what I'm forcing you so that you become more clear. That's why I'm asking you to do that Kwansati application, because when you do that, you will have no doubt. you have actually applied. Because the learners, they will say, I've applied, but then I look inside, self-concept, self-efficacy, self-handicapping, self-esteem, self-monitoring, I don't see any application. But if you can just pick all those and then you write to me a small story of your learners in Kwansati High School, they can be assisted to developing that self-esteem by being given some activities that will make them to feel confidence. We call it the ARC model. The ARC model is where you give them an activity and then it is relevant and then it will give them confidence and satisfaction. That's what, then you say the learners can be guided by becoming intrinsically motivated and extrinsically motivated, then they will be able to overcome self-handicapping behavior. But now, Kwansati High School will ask you, what is self-handicapping behavior? They don't know, but you tell them self-handicapping behavior is whereby the learner is disabling themselves by believing that they cannot do. Any other question before I can call it a day, because I don't want to spend so much of your time. Any other question? Are we okay? Can you just give me a thumbs up before I can log off? Thank you, Philippa. I want to see you. If you have a question, ask before we go. Sipokazi, thank you, Sipokazi. Thank you, Annie. Makosazana. Yes, thank you, Lungile. Do well, do well. Lauren. Thank you. Please do well. Do not be afraid of sending me your work again. Send me, even if it is not on Monday, send me before. Tell me, Dr. Gachie, do you think I'm on the right track? Because right now, because I've reduced the assignment, it means that you'll have to do better. Because when the assignments are more, they give you more space. But now, because the assignments are few, make use of me. Send me your work. Tell me, Dr. Gachie, just give me feedback by email this time, and I will improve my work. Do well. Keep up the good work. See you next week, where we shall look at tests. And even if you have any question next week on this lesson plan, I will use the first few minutes to go through the lesson plan again. You come with a question, okay? But start. The key lies in starting. See you next week. Bye. Okay.